the march towards the end of original Inuyasha continues onwards.
Mm-hmm.
As we are just singular episodes away from finishing.
It's wild.
It is very wild. But we still have a couple, not even a couple, we still got a handful to get through before we get there. But yeah. Hello, welcome to this week's episode. Jared now watching Inuyasha is episode 164. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Ladium.
Hello.
We are discussing season 6, episode 23, or episode 161, entitled Miroku's Past Mistake. Miroku must confront his womanizing ways again. In case you had forgotten he was like this.
Uh-huh.
So yeah. We start this episode and Miroku decides he's gotta touch Sango's butt.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like an earthquake, and then they're like, oh god, is that a earthquake? No, it's demonic aura.
Demonic aura. I don't know why it made me laugh so hard, but it was really, really funny.
Yeah, some villagers are trying to do something. They put a charm on a shrine, and the shrine went
rejected.
So they go to help, and they're like, hey, what's going on here? And then one of the villagers is like, oh my god, is that Miroku? You've come back to marry my daughter. And he's like, huh? Excuse me? They go to the village, and Miroku's like, yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. The lady shows up named Shima, and he's like, oh yeah, I remember you. And then he talks about how he helped cure her of an illness.
Everybody realized that they swindled. He was swindling them.
Yes.
For money.
But yeah, eventually she got better, and now she's like, oh, now I'm going to be Miroku's betrothed. And Miroku's like, okay. Because, of course, he asked her to bear his child. And she was like, yeah, of course. And he's like,
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. Sango just bonks him in the head a couple of times. And he's like, oh, it's just in the past. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. And Yasha's like, I don't understand what the big deal is. Anyways, you remember we're here for like a weird demonic aura? Like, oh, right.
Right. We were doing that.
And then the world starts shaking again. She's like, oh, the Shima's like, I'm scared. Miroku, help me. And Sango's like, oh. They learn there's a water demon in the lake, and it wants to marry Shima. And she's like, I don't want to marry it. And that's the dilemma they've got here. So yeah, we enter the nighttime. Everyone's out on guard duty, watching for this fish, except for Miroku. He's inside.
They're chatting.
They're chit-chatting. Yeah, a lot of chit-chatting. Inuyasha again is just like, I don't see what the big deal is. And then Kagome gets mad at him for that.
Mm-hmm.
Miroku's like, I don't understand why we gotta do like a marriage thing, because like, wouldn't this demon just like not care? And they're like, well, I mean, clearly it would, definitely. And you said you would, so you gotta do it. Shippo runs in as the big giant head of Sango to scare him.
That was really funny, actually.
And then Sango's like, what are you doing? Get out of here. And then, oh no, the ground's shaking again, and here comes the demon, and it's just a little guy with a big cart of stuff. And Inuyasha and everyone's just like, yeah, Inuyasha and everyone's like, this is the guy? This bald fish? Huh? And then the master of the lake blows some kisses at Shima. She's like, oh no, I'm scared. Shima's dad eventually says like, oh yeah, by the way, when she was getting healed, I used water from the lake, and then I'd go pray at the shrine to make sure she was better, and I guess that's why the master of the lake wants Shima. Oops. And then Shima's like, oh, by the way, I did it with Miroku, so we can't get married. I'm unfit to be a bride.
You wanted a virgin. I'm not that.
Huh? Everyone else is like, huh?
I think it was Inuyasha at one point who was like, yeah, we kind of expected that. And I'm like, whoa, yeah. What?
Even everyone else is like, yeah, Yeah.
I mean, has it ever actually been confirmed that any of these ladies that he had propositioned actually slept with him?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Like so far it's just been like
A gag.
a gag, right? Like it's a proposition and we've never had any confirmations that it actually went anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, Songo gets mad and runs away.
yep.
Inuyasha decides to fight the demon as it gets big and becomes a big catfish, and he punches it in the nose, and it just gets small again.
Yeah, I love that it's like he doesn't even bother using any of his abilities. He's just like, I'm just gonna punch.
And they get small again. He's like, "Well, I guess I would, I would have felt bad if I would have killed this, say, like this, eh."
Hey.
Um, yeah, Miroku's sad because Songo left, and he's like, "Oh no." And then the lake master just kidnapped Sheba out of nowhere while everyone was distracted.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "Well, we should probably save her." Songo's at the lake alone.
She's sad because Miroku hasn't come after her.
Yeah.
Even though Miroku's like, she won't listen to me even if I do go after her right now.
And then she sees the master of the lake, flying by with Sheba, and it's like, well, that's weird. He overhears the master of the lake being like, "I'll forgive you for what happened, and then we're gonna be in the water together." And she's like, "Oh crap, I should probably go save her." And then everyone else shows up, and he's like, "Oh, he didn't even come for me." But she tries to help out, and then gets tied up by the fish. And then Miroku gets very mad and jumps in and tells the fish to not take his woman.
I love that he like completely whiffs it when he jumps in though. Like he doesn't even get
Yeah.
anywhere close to the fish. It's like, bro, what are you doing?
And then he uses the wind tunnel to just completely drain the lake of any water.
Yep.
So the fish is now just flopping there, and then he puts some charms on it and bonks it, and then it goes back to its normal self. And then he bonks it again, and he's like, "You better stay away from my woman." And then the fish is like, "Oh, is that one of your women?" Huh? And then he gets bonked again.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Songo walks away from Miroku, and Miroku's trying to chase after him, like, Songo, come on! Songo!
Hey.
And they also keep stepping on the fish's head.
Yeah.
And also, Inuyasha is very bad because he wasn't needed. He just like, got his sword. I was like, "I guess I wasn't needed to help this time."
For once.
And then Shima watches Miroku and Songo, and she's like, "Oh, they're a good pair. Yay."
Unrequited love on my part.
Yeah. And then also she's like, "Oh yeah, I lied about doing it with Miroku." Miroku's like, "Huh?"
She's like, yeah, I just didn't want to marry that guy.
Everyone's like, And then they have a conversation. They're like, "Hey, I'm a little upset that you didn't trust me." And she's like, "Yeah, maybe I should have trusted you."
See, the good thing about these two is that they do actually talk to each other sometimes.
They have communication.
Like, they do get mad and they have things that go wrong, but, like, they do actually communicate how they're feeling and have, like, somewhat of a healthy dynamic in the sense that they're like, hey, this made me feel bad that you didn't trust me. And she's like, you know what? That was wrong of me. I should have trusted you. And even then he's like, yeah, but I also haven't given you a reason to, so that's my bad too. So, like, they both understand, like, hey, I'm at fault. This was a really bad situation, a bad miscommunication. Like, let's air it all out now. It's like, you know what? Good for you too.
Yes. And then we get the irony of Kagome being like, "Well, this would have been made up sooner if he would have just told her the truth." And it's like, girl, you're having this problem with Inuyasha when he told you the truth and you didn't believe him. So
Right. Yep.
And then they all get on Miroku for not clearing it up sooner because he remembered some of it. Womp womp.
Whoops.
Let's see here. We got some notes here.
Okay.
Miroku being depressed at the beginning is different between the manga and anime. In the manga, he was upset about losing the Fuyohike. What the heck is that? An orb.
Ah.
To Hakodoshi. In the anime, he lost his funds to a pickpocket. This minor difference is attributed to the orb not yet introduced in the anime.
I mean, I'd be depressed if I got all my money taken
Spoilers.
too.
In the manga, Miroku didn't drain the lake. He used the same attack while declaring Sango his woman.
Same attack as what?
I guess the wind tunnel?
Oh, I was thinking maybe the bonking.
Or maybe, I don't know. This doesn't clarify.
I mean, either way, he has deprived this village of their water source now, so everyone's gonna have to move or die.
Yep.
So that's great.
Whoops.
Oops.
Apart from complimenting Shima on how beautiful she had become, Miroku doesn't exhibit any of his normal lecherous tendencies. Whenever she clings to him, he is awkward, even when Sango isn't in the room. This shows his growing level of commitment to her, something that began when he helped Sango with her conflicted feelings for Kohaku.
I think it's been going on a little bit longer than that.
No,
But,
yeah, it definitely has. For sure.
whatever they say here.
Kagome explains to Inuyasha that when a girl sees someone from her boyfriend's past, she is put in an awkward situation, as she's often put in the same position with Inuyasha and Kikyo.
I said the same thing when we were watching this episode. I was like, she
yep.
should know.
Yep. Well, that's gonna do it for us this time. Next time we return to filler.
Yep.
We got to get our final filler episodes out of the way, as we'll be discussing episode 162 entitled Forever with Lord Sesshomaru, where Jockin becomes French. Rin gets a new spelling of a name, apparently.
Jockin becomes French.
Jacques.
Jock.
It's very funny.
Yep.
We're gonna filler.
Filler. Great.
Filler. So yeah, that's what we'll talk about next time. But for now, if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonlanimecheckup.com or sec.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts, like Season Anime Checkup OVA. Also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. Follow us on Blue Sky, seasonlanimecheckup.com. And you can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, A Critical Analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, Hot Tubs, and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And you support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. So join us next time as we get into some filler with French Jockin. Ho ho ho, Lord Sesshomaru.
Would you like a baguette?
Ho ho ho, me lord.
Omelette du fromage.
Yes.